Hi, I'm Andrea. Thanks for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. If you don't have a yoga mat, don't worry about it. Find a place in your house that might be carpeted, that's not too slippery, and you're going to be just fine. A couple of tools I think that are handy are a set of blocks. If you don't have blocks, it's fine. Thick books will do the trick. A folded blanket or even a dish towel or hand towel would be helpful in case we want to pad our knees or sit upon it. And for seated poses, I actually really like to have something even more substantial, like a bolster, or you could pull a cushion from your couch. A chair, I think, is a really great thing to have for balance. And also we use the seat of the chair sometimes for some of the things that we do. Once you have those in place, let's get started, as we often do, in our mountain pose. So with your feet hip distance, turn your palms away from each other. Stand tall. And our recipe for standing tall is to think ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. And gaze out at what I like to call our bright horizon. With your palms turned away from each other and that originating at the shoulder joint, you'll feel an uplift physically, and I feel like an uplift emotionally too. Find your breath here. Let it be in and out through your nose if that's doable. Of course, mostly I just want you to breathe. It's here that we stop. Pause for a moment so that we can start. And then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky in a V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward. Exhale, increase the hinge at your hips, but keep your head above your hips. And then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Float your arms along your side, palms face out. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, and then exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and then stand in your mountain. Our sun salutation, warm up 2 more times. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to thighs. Inhale, extend your heart, and then exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Float your arms along your side. Last time. Inhale. Arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, and exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Stand into your mountain and pause. A little prop moving. Mindfully. It's part of our practice also. Take your chair and place it so that the seat is facing the short edge of your mat. And like I said earlier, if you don't have a mat, just kind of imagine what that might be like in your space. Take your 2 thick books or your blocks and place them off your mat so they're not underfoot. We always want to make sure that they're within reach, but not in our workspace. And then facing that short edge of your mat and your chair, feet hip distance, stand tall. Once again into your mountain. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward. Your hands can come to the seat of your chair, or you can bring your blocks onto your mat but still not underfoot. Step your left foot back and lower your back knee to your mat. This is where padding might be your friend. So you might want that folded towel to put underneath your left knee. And coming upright, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Stay with your arms out to the side and imagine steering your hips to face that chair or the front edge of your mat. We're going to let our shoulders dissolve out of our ears. We're not shrugging them up. And one way to do that is to feel like you're almost pointing your thumbs back behind you a little bit with your palms to the sky. You can feel how that gives you a little space there. Stand tall as if in your mountain, even though I know we're in a lunge. But we're constructing a warrior pose, and I want you to warrior your way. So we're going to have a progression of warrior poses, and you can always come back to this one if this is warrioring your way for today. Every day is a little bit different. Now you could even bring the V shape overhead, thumbs to the sky if that feels okay, or return your arms out to the side. Gaze at our bright horizon and let your chin be parallel to the ground for 2 moments here. Then place your hands on your blocks or maybe to the seat of your chair. Take your back knee off your mat and step your left foot hip distance from your right. Hands onto your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart. Exhale, hinge at your hips. And then inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and we'll stand back into our mountain. Stand tall so that when we're warriors, we remember that we are a mountain that is majestic in all forms. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward and take your hands to your seat or to your blocks. Step your right foot back and lower your back knee to your mat. Maybe this is where you bring the padding into the mix. Once you're situated, upright and arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. We're thinking of steering, and you could almost think of it as steering with your left heel, left hip back and right hip forward. Just check and make sure that we're not shrugging shoulders into ears. So maybe you spin your thumbs back almost a bit, so palms feel like they're to the sky. Stay with this. Remember, this might be warrioring, not worrying, but warrioring your way. And then maybe a V shape feels good to you. And we'll pause for a moment on this side here. Hands to your blocks or to the seat of your chair. Take your back knee off your mat and step your right foot hip distance from your left. Hands come to your thighs as we inhale and your heart extends, and then exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then stand and remind yourself of your majesty in your mountain. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold. Hands come to your thighs, and we inhale your heart forward. Either bring your hands to the seat of your chair or bring your hands onto your blocks. This time as we step our left foot back, keep your knee off the ground. But remember the steering that we spoke of, and let's think of that as stamping into our right heel, steering our right hip back and our left hip forward. That's helpful for balance, because eventually, even with our knee off the ground, we'll have the option a little bit later to come upright, where balance is a little bit tricky. So I'd like you to feel a midline or a plumb line, tractioning your right hip back and your left hip forward, so there feels to be a middle ground, and it doesn't feel so wobbly out to the side. 2 moments just like this, kind of trying it on for size, because we're going to translate it to other things. Now with your hands on your blocks, or maybe you've had them on the seat of your chair this whole time, that's perfect. Firm through your belly and step your left foot hip distance from your right, hands to your thighs, inhale. And then exhale, increase the hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape overhead, and then float your arms along your side. We'll do that on our second side. Inhale, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hands to your thighs as we fold. Inhale, heart forward. Hands to your chair or hands onto your blocks. Step your right foot back this time. We keep our knee off the ground, and we're slightly obsessed with left hip back and right hip forward. So we're kind of nerding out together on that middle line. So it doesn't feel wobbly and disorienting. It feels like we're right here in a central line that makes sense, that we can imagine standing this structure upright in. and we'll stay for a few breaths. Take note so that as we move forward in our progression, you might decide that this is the place for you to warrior your way. From here, firm through your belly. We'll step our right foot hip distance from our left, hands to your thighs. Inhale, heart reaches, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, stand into your mountain. This next one's a little tricky, I'm not going to lie to you. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Could be a good time for hands on the seat of the chair or hands on your blocks. Step your left foot back. Start to straighten your front leg. Now firm through your belly, and we're going to come upright, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. So balance is happening. Remember I said that plumb line, that balance line, and take notes. Maybe you can review your notes here upright. You might even take that V shape overhead. But we are steering our right hip back, our left hip forward here. And I'd like you to notice your back foot and that you're on the ball of that back foot, which is a little easier when it comes to steering the hips to square forward and a little trickier for balance because we're like sort of on our tippy toes almost, right? So just fold that away as an option. Something to think about in our progression. Rebend your front knee, take your hands to your blocks or to the seat of your chair. Step your left foot hip distance from your right and bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then stand into your mountain. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, take your hands to the seat of your chair or onto your blocks. Right foot steps back. Once we're there, begin to straighten that front leg. Another secret that can be helpful is a little more sideways space, so you could always step your left foot to the left a little bit. And then firm through your belly, come upright, thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side. So our front leg is straight. We're doing our best to find that plumb line. We're also trying not to wear our shoulders in our ears. And just stay with this sensation and explore the back leg, and in particular what's touching the ground. So right at the base of your toes. Not a whole lot of real estate on the ground back there, but it makes it a little easier to think about flashlights on our hip bones and that they would both be facing that short front edge of our mat. You might even take that V shape overhead if things are feeling like that works and is of interest. Even though the front leg is straight, there is a little buffer of a teensy bit of bend in that leg. And then we'll add more bend to that front knee to dismount, hands onto your blocks or the seat of your chair. Right foot hip distance from your left and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, fold it back in. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, and then float your arms along your side. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to thighs. Inhale your heart forward, hands to your chair or onto your blocks. Step your left foot back. Keep your front knee bent. Now we've explored a number of ways in which you might warrior your way. One of them was to keep your hands down here on the blocks. We did one with our knee down, so you could do that if you prefer. Or come upright here in our crescent pose, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, maybe even your V shape. We're on the ball of the back foot right now, and it might be that a little bend in your back knee is helpful now that we're upright. So usually with hands on our blocks or on the base of our chair, it's relatively easy to keep that back leg straight, but once we come upright, it might be that we're pitched forward, or it might be that we're collapsed in the low back. So bending your back knee might give you the opportunity to find a little bit more of our mountain pose in your upper body here in what's called Crescent Pose. 2 moments here. Requires that plumb line of balance, doesn't it? Take your hands to either your blocks or the seat of your chair, which is maybe where you've remained the whole time. And then with your belly firm, step your left foot hip distance from your right and bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, fold at your hips, but keep your head high. And then inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Float your arms along your side. Second side of that, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips and place your hands where you like, on your chair, on your blocks. It's up to you. Step your right foot back this time. If the sideways space I mentioned earlier is helpful, you can either step that right foot to the right, left foot to the left a little bit, just so you feel like you've got a little bit more of a solid base. This is an option to stay here. Another option is to bring your knee down onto the ground, or come upright here in crescent, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. And then remember, maybe a little bend in your back knee is helpful. Think like a bit softer. And there's balance because we're on the base of the back toe. So an indication that you might enjoy a bend in your back knee is that it's a little sticky and you're pitching forward, or that you're having to collapse into your low back. This gives us a chance from the waist up to feel our mountain. Maybe you like the V shape with your arms. We're steering with our left heel, left hip back, right hip forward, and we're finding that sense of a plumb line. And we're just gonna let it steep for a few moments. If it's wobbly, that's okay. It's part of the fun. 2 moments here. Now return your hands to either your blocks or to the seat of your chair, and then step your right foot hip distance from your left. Hands come to your thighs. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then stand into your mountain, and let's pause. So I often tell you that I would like for you to take agency in your own practice. That means you get to make your own choices. You're the expert of your own body. I am just a guide. And that's true for really any teacher. With these warrior poses and these options that I'm giving you, it's kind of fun to have a variety that you can lean into, but also it's an opportunity for you to listen to your body. We'll build on to what we've done so far, and you can always return to what we've done so far as one of your options. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and take your hands to your thighs. Inhale, extend your heart forward, and then hands come to the base of your chair or onto your blocks. This will be familiar terrain. Step your left foot back. Now, just to review where we've been, and you can join me with this, we've had our back knee down. So this is one option, and thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side or up to the sky. That's option one. Another option was that you can keep your hands on your blocks or on the seat of your chair. And it's pretty easy to keep that back leg straight and relatively easy to balance on those back toes. Another option that we found was our crescent pose, and we added maybe a little bit of bend to our back knee, and you could even do the V shape overhead. Lastly, hands to your blocks or to your chair. You might try this. So just remember all of those different options, and not just for this practice, but whenever you do yoga, those are available to you. Now you've got kind of some tricks up your sleeve for whenever you need them. Now we're going to all take our right foot to the right a little bit. I want you to have plenty of sideways space for this last option. Turn your back foot flat on its side. And I don't know about you, but I already feel things getting sticky. Like my butt wants to stick out to the right. Try to think of our steering. It might be that you just keep the back foot on the ground with your hands on the base of your chair or on your blocks for now, because this is actually a pretty challenging posture. We want the outer edge of our back foot to be solid, and the back arch to be lifted and alive. So if that's a little bit tricky to find, I think one way for you to warrior your way today is to just stay here. This is a great place. With your back foot flat, and only if it feels okay for your back knee, we could experiment with coming upright, thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side. Now it's really tricky not to have that sort of like swinging of the butt out. So remember, you can bring your hands back to your blocks or do any of the variations that we did previously. Maybe thumbs to the sky, a V shape here. And now you can feel that if you try to aim your flashlights that are hip bones out in front of you, it's quite sticky in that back leg. Can you keep the back arch lifted and alive and the outer edge pressing? Try not to shrug shoulders into ears. I know it's tricky. 3 moments, warrioring your way. So you could go back to one of the things we were doing before if this doesn't feel like quite the right place. And then hands to your blocks or to the seat of your chair. Spin on your back toes. If your back knee is on the ground, lift it up. Step your left foot hip distance from your right, hands to your thighs. Inhale. Exhale, hinge at your hips. And then inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Float your arms along your sides and pause. Ready for side 2? I know it's a lot. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. As you hinge, your hands come to your chair or they come to your blocks, and we'll step now our right foot back. And then we're reviewing the various options that we've trundled through. So back knee down onto your mat is one thought. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky here, or even a V shape. So just remember, this might be the way to warrior your way. And then hands to your blocks, back knee off your mat. Keep your hands on your blocks or your seat, and notice that you're steering your left hip back and your right hip forward, and it's relatively easy to keep that back leg straight. You're balanced on the ball of your back foot right now. Feel free to stay here. Upright into our crescent pose, thumbs to the sky. You might add a little bend to your back knee. So when we make the back foot flat, the stuff that has you bending your back knee might be showing up. That tendency to pitch forward, because it's just a little bit of a tighter squeeze with the back heel down. Last couple moments. Hands come back to your blocks or to the seat of your chair. Maybe this is where you've been the whole time. Now, heel toe, left foot over to the left. So we really want that sideways space on our side. And turn your back foot, your right foot, flat on its side. Let's organize what's happening in that back foot. So the outer edge is solid, pressing into your mat. And the arch is lifted and alive. So we're not letting it collapse in, collapsing that arch. We're steering our hip bones so that they're facing towards that front edge of our mat or towards the seat of our chair. You can have your hands on the seat of your chair. And because this is sticky business, you might choose to stay just like this. It's a great place to figure out this new foundation. If things feel like they're not swinging out to the side or collapsing or too tight, upright we go. Thumbs to the sky, arms out to the side. And I don't know about you, but my right leg right now, my back leg, it's really difficult to convince it to spin forward. So don't force that, but just know that's going to be the challenge. Your arch is lifted and alive in that back foot. The outer edge is pressing. You might want a V shape of your arms. And then remember that you have options. You could have your back knee down, your hands down. You could be on the ball of your back foot. We'll stay here for 3 moments. And then take your hands to the seat of your chair or to your blocks and spin on your back toes. Now this time, lower your back knee. So some of you have been here the whole time. So your right knee is on the ground, and now just swoop your left knee next to your right knee. If you would like some padding, throw your padding underneath both knees. Move your blocks off to the side. And if you feel that your chair is a little bit close by, you can also relocate your chair out of the way. And then come to hands and knees and spread your hands wide. I'd like for you to try to aim your shoulders over your wrists. So we're not too far forward and we're not too far back. And then with your shoulders over your wrists, some careful cat-cows. So you're just going to be sassy and lift your hips a little bit. And then you're going to tuck your tailbone underneath you and round. So we're letting our hips have a little release, our pelvis have a little release. Arching in your low back as you inhale, and then contracting in your low back as you exhale. So sometimes those warrior poses, we're sort of stuck in our pelvis a little bit. We're going to free it up here. Go back and forth at a tempo that suits you. Remember, we're not trying to do that with our head and neck or too much into the upper back. We just want to set our pelvis free. One more round, arching in your low back and then rounding. And then come to a seat. You might want to use your folded blanket to sit on, or even your bolster or cushion. Take both legs out in front of you. Sit tall, as we have done in our warrior poses and in our mountain poses, and then bend your right knee and place your right foot into your left inner thigh for a bit of a hip stretch. Maybe one of your blocks or books feels nice as a support underneath your right thigh. Curl your left toes back towards you. I like to take my blocks so that I remember not to round over my leg, but to hinge at my hip, and then just walk the majesty of my mountain into a bit of a hip hinge forward fold here. We have a stretch in the back of our left leg and in our right hip. And we have an opportunity to pause just for a moment here. Slowly come up, help it along. Take your right thigh in your right hand and extend that right leg in front. Place your left foot into your right inner thigh. Curl your right toes back. Feel free to pad with your block the outside of your left thigh. Maybe walk your blocks forward. It's a hinge at our hips, a momentary meditation. Hamstring stretch in our right leg, hip stretch in our left leg. And just walk your blocks in. Come upright, use your hand on your left thigh. Today for our practice, we're going to end in a seated meditation. If you'd prefer to lie down in Shavasana, you can do that. Palms up or down. Either close your eyes or divert your gaze down. I'll be silent, we'll be still, and we'll seal the magic of our practice in here. You blink your eyes open. I hope that you will warrior your way every day in all things that you do. What we do on our yoga mat spills into our life. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me.